All right, folks, welcome to another episode of our Zoom Up. It's our meetup on Zoom. My name is Michael Huggins. I'm your host today, and we're bringing you this video series. It is stories of transformation from our community, our real estate investors and business owners who are transforming their lives all over the nation, working together and making some big things happen. So I'm bringing you another interview so that you can see, hear, and experience what it's like to go through this transformation and see what's possible for you. My transformation was amazing. I went from changing oil and changing tires 70 hours a week, drowning in student loan debt, over 30,000 in debt, to now it's been 10 years. I've done fix and flips, short sales, wholesaling, lease options. I'm now doing a big land deal, and I feel so empowered. I've made a boatload of money. I saved a lot in taxes. I paid off my student loan early. I've helped my mom, helped my grandma, helped my cousins, uncles, all with this amazing real estate information. And so much has changed for me. Now we're going to highlight today what's changed for another student of ours. And these are people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different professional levels. And if you have watched some of our past episodes, you can see what I mean. There's every kind of person here. And so if you're looking to get into real estate and you want a community of people that actually care and we can support you and show you how to do it professionally correctly, you're in the right spot. So if you're here live, fantastic, welcome. If you're catching the recording, what we're going to want you to do is get back with the person that invited you here and request either a recording of an intro, a house tour, or a workshop, or come to a live one that's coming up here in the future. We have a ton of these where you can see the power of our community and get some good information, get some value, and hopefully you're inspired to change your life, take a direction that makes sense for you, and face your fears, and let's do it. Let's do it in a big way. So with that said, I'm now really excited to introduce you to our story today. His name is Sukreet Singh. I met him while we were in Denver. Now, I'm in Tennessee. He's over in Nevada. Two different opportunities we've been pursuing. But real estate has still been something that's kept us together and connected over the years. And when I first met him, he was already quote unquote successful in the business world of having a job. He climbed the ranks. He was the youngest director of an international firm. This guy was amazing, but he was still unfulfilled and he was still looking for more. And so, with what he's been able to do and transform using this information in our community, I'm going to let him share what's happened. So, I'm going to turn the rest of the call over to our guest of honor, Mr. Sukreet Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Michael.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Thanks, brother, and thanks, my mentor and a really good friend of mine. So, as Michael mentioned, yes, I'm the youngest director at an international firm, but I just realized that I was stuck in that rat race, that I was living paycheck to paycheck, didn't really had the final financial understanding on what I can really do with my life. And I felt like that I was underappreciated, in a way undervalued, and somebody else was telling me how much time should I take for my vacation, how much money should I make, and there was a cap that I could see as a ceiling in what needs to be done. But so I mean, I went ahead with some of the gurus and stuff that you look at. So I went in one of those boot camps, and I thought, oh, I need to figure out a way to change it, and it had to be some form of a real estate side. Because no matter what millionaire or billionaire I looked at, any of the things that somehow it was all connected to real estate. I knew that's the path I want to follow, but not sure where to go for. So I saw one of those things, advertisements, and I went to those boot camps, did the 3-day boot camp, and I said, I can figure this out on my own. Oh, that's okay. And I just started even doing a deal, figuring out. But doing that deal, first trying to do it on my own physically, I partnered with the wrong person, found the wrong deal, and funded the wrong deal as well. And it ended up being completely bad for me at that time. But and that partner actually, one of the meetup groups that I went to, and I've tried to do it on my own, and I tried to do it at that point. He was actually sent to jail. It was that bad because it was not only me. He had done it with multiple other people, how we were trying to figure this out on our own, but not really knowing what I was doing, not having the right knowledge base, banking upon other people to do what needs to be done. But the only good thing that came out was while I was in that deal, I was introduced to this community. And then there were a lot of good people here who helped me out so that I don't lose money on that deal. Even though I had a bad partner, I had different things. We were still able to figure out how to really be able to rezone it and be able to sell it and not really lose your shirts on it while still making some, I mean, meager 13,000 profit, but I was happy with it. At least I was not losing my shirts on it. But there was a lot of lessons learned there. Um, but then at that point, I had made a decision that I really want to make sure I know what I'm doing and do it with the people I can trust. And that's where this community and education came in, so that the next deal I pick up, I do it the right way. So that's what's my start. At this point, I have about 8 doors that I hold as buy and hold. I have done flips. I've done wholesale. I have a self-directed IRA that I use towards my own deals. I have an overfunded life insurance policy. With the last flip deal that I worked on, I actually, because I was doing a flip and a buy and hold loan at the same time, so I didn't want to increase my debt to income ratio. But that's when your education plays a role and says, well, you have this overfunded life insurance policy. It's not even seen where it's going on. Bring that money from there. And then I also had a home equity line of credit that doesn't show up necessarily in my credit, or doesn't hamper the credit specifically because I can still borrow it. But using those two methods and combining different things, I was able to make that happen too. But it has been a fun journey overall to do what needs to be done. But again, as Michael always says, trust the process, and keep at it.
Nice. Okay, so you've been on a wild journey. How long have you been a part of the community?
About 3 years now.
Okay.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2017, about, yeah, that's when I joined approximately.
Yeah. And so, um, you, if I remember correctly, you called a little roadside sign that we had, right?
Yep, it was a roadside sign. And then it, it took some time to really make sure this is the right group to participate with, because I was just burnt from another partnership. But
Yeah.
then, after doing that due diligence, it was the right path to do, right path to follow.
Okay. And so you had already gone to college before, I'm assuming.
Yes, I went to college. I did my bachelor's, I did my master's, and I did my normal corporate job
Okay.
um, for that. Yep.
And so through all of that experience, and then looking at the education that we have to offer, how, what did you like best about what you saw?
I think it was a part of the mindset aspect of it, that you have to really be able to um, see the same thing, see the opportunities that you don't see otherwise. And when I went to school, or when I was in my job, um, you get you get good at what you do, so you keep doing it, repeating it. Don't really try to go outside of your own box to some extent. But in this side of the world, you have to take risk. You have to figure out your own paths from that perspective, and you have to always keep learning. You cannot stop.
So you
Um,
started with the boot camp. It got you into a bad deal that you
mhm.
probably would have lost your shirt on and probably never been involved in real estate after that.
Yep.
But because you're in real estate, you saw our ad, and then you came to an introduction workshop that we were doing,
Hmm.
and you thought, okay, well, these people are genuine. They're here every week. They're meeting. They know each other. They're not trying to hide anything. I
Yep.
guess I can move forward.
Yep. That is very true.
Okay. So tell us about, so we ended up helping you clean up that deal. You still made $13,000. Now, some people that's a lot of money. To other people, it's just a regular monthly income. If I would have made $13,000 in one check, I'd be jumping for joy. That's a pretty impressive deal for everything, for how bad that was going to still make that much money.
That is
Um,
true.
I don't know if that would have happened if you hadn't met some other people.
Pretty sure that wouldn't have happened, because there are a lot of community members I could brainstorm with, talk about how this needs to go and what can be done, and use the resources that we had at our disposal.
So, what other deals have you done since then?
Um, Another one of them was actually with Clinton, which he's also online here. That was in Las Vegas. um, which we did earlier in the year, last year. That was a probate case. So we helped a person out. Somebody had um, died at some point, unfortunately, and then the heirs did not know what to do. So we helped them out with the probate case, and then we put that under contract, and then that was it clean. We didn't do a lot of rehab on it. We just basically did a little bit. The last one, the one I just did, that one was a complete rehab.
How much did you make
Um,
on those?
Sorry,
How much did you make on those?
that is going on market next week.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but this was, we should clear about 25 to 30 on it.
Nice.
So it should be a good one. We'll see.
And so, how much were you making at your job when you first joined?
About 70 to 75.
Okay, but you're still in the rat race.
Yep, still in the rat race.
The 75,000. You know, when someone's going to college and they're promised 75,000 a year, that sounds like a lot of money. But now looking back and with what you know and what you've accomplished, totally different perspective, right?
It is completely different perspective. It's not the amount of money you make, it's about the cash flow you can get. So that's why you have to play that game so that you're not, you choose to do what you need to do and do the work you need to do, not forced to.
So do you have rental units now?
Yep, I have about eight units.
8 units.
Hmm.
Right on. And what's the have you figured out the average door cash flow?
It's about 250 a door,
Okay.
200 to 250 a door.
All right. So you're bringing in a couple thousand a month
Yep, for now. So we
for
have to
now.
increase that.
Right. But as time goes on, we do the debt acceleration, the tax strategies, we do the value adds. Yeah, I can see that growing up real quick.
Yep, that is very true. And I'm only looking at the cash flow after all my expenses, but there's other things that we learn about um, what you just mentioned. Uh,
So when you so you're building up your cash flow portfolio so that you can walk away from jobs forever. When you first got introduced to this group, and you're telling your wife, "Hey, I want to do this program," was that well received, or how did that conversation go?
she's laughing at it, I guess, but it was an interesting conversation. She was like, okay, if you want to do this, but at the same time, make sometimes she thinks I've gone crazy, and that's what she's saying. But at the same time, it's fulfilling on what needs to be done, and it's gratifying in terms, and it's not a overnight game in my opinion at all. It is a long term, but we've had our moments, and we have said, okay, we need to do this. She's like, you're not here, um, but she has been very supportive in general to do what I need to do. So
Excellent. And so having this, so you just had a baby. Before we hit the record, we were talking about the baby and that experience and everything. It's your first, so congratulations on that.
yep, thank you. I appreciate
What do you think is different now because you have a business, you have some cash flow, some passive income, and this education? How did it feel bringing a baby into that world, having this solid foundation?
I think it's a blessing in disguise that we got to understand all of these things ahead of time, because now we have so many tools that we can make sure whenever we are trying to bring her up, we can utilize it to her benefit. So as an example, we have decided every kid we have will have a couple of houses on their name, so that by the time they grow up, that's part of their college funds or marriage funds, whatever we need to do. And then being able to utilize other things on starting their IRAs right now while they're kid, as well as their life insurance policy that we can just put it on their name, but eventually. So a lot of those things we wouldn't have even thought of and wouldn't have even figured out if we did not know what we don't know.
Yeah,
Um, so we can help them create their life the way it should be.
yeah. Design instead of default.
Yep, design instead of default. Good call.
Excellent. Okay,
Good.
well that's exciting stuff, man. So now you have 8 doors. You've done some flips. You totally moved. You got a baby. What does the future look like for you? Where are you headed?
So a couple of things on that perspective. One, I do want to be more involved with the multifamily fix and flip side scenario and holding those units as well. Um, and then another facet that we will be looking at is real estate on the commercial, but um, clinic, like hold, having urgent care and family practice type clinics, and hold them and be able to multiply that side of the business.
Okay, so you're so not just commercial, but you've identified you want to be in medical commercial.
Yep, medical, commercial, and multifamily, both of those sides.
Okay, excellent. And so now that you've dialed that in, it's a lot easier to just say no to all the other distractions and
That,
go full force in
yep,
there.
that is very true.
I guess it
Uh,
does help that your wife has a medical background.
mhm, that definitely helps,
Like,
doesn't it?
yeah, you got the real estate, she's got the medical, and now you got medical real estate.
Yep. Just combine the two things,
Yeah, love it. Beautiful. Okay. Well, that's inspiring. It's really exciting to see where you're going with this. And, the people you get to bring along the way. You mentioned Clinton, but all the other people, all the other relationships that you get to build as you're moving through your career here with us. So I'm excited to see what you've done so far and the people you've impacted. And thank you for always being willing to share. I know a couple of times you got up and talked about your deals. We've been able to walk through some of your deals before. So thank you for opening up and helping the new people come in behind you.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody in this community and you in particular, Michael. I cannot have more good words that you have always been there no matter what, whether it was the time of my baby, about baby talks, or it's real estate talks, or it's business talks, or just personal development. You've always guided me through, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, my friend, it's an honor to be able to work with you. Thank you for that. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We're going to put it in the history books, and so people can go and view that and share that, distribute it, put it out there, and inspire more people. Come and check out our workshops, folks. Come and check out the house tours. Come and check out the intros. Get inspired, and go and make a change. Start chasing your future the way you want it to be by design, not by default. And so stick around, Sukreet. We got 2 bonus questions afterwards. We'll put in a different recording. And so with that being said, we'll wrap up this one. So thanks everyone for being here. We'll see you on the next one.